Here we have Pink Floyd, the later years, 1987 to 2019. This is the long-awaited new box set of the post-Roger Waters era. Now, it's very heavy and comes in this slightly strange, sort of baggy outer wrap, which has this sticker on it, which has been seen on some of the marketing material. That just summarises what's in this box set. They're calling it 16 discs. Arguably it's an 18 disc set if you include the two 7-inch singles. But as you can see, 5 CDs, 6 Blu-rays and 5 DVDs are the core offering in terms of optical content. But there's a lot of other stuff in here, so let's take a look inside. So in case this isn't obvious, this is a big, large format box set. I'm going to put the 12-inch album of Animals on the top of it. So you can see it's slightly bigger than 12-inch square. But it does have a solid spine. So when you've got that on your shelf, it's pretty clear what you're looking at. The reverse has the usual spec sheet on it, with the exploded sort of pack shot showing you what's inside. If you take this off, that's the design you're left with on the rear of the box. Quite nicely done. There's some extra design elements here as well on the inside. Very glossy finish. Feels like a pretty solid construction. Okay, so opening it up. So this is the way it opens. So this, there is a name for these boxes, but this bit sits on top of the inside. So there we go, so that's the box opened flat. What we're looking at here on the very top are the replica tour programs. Now these are set in this sort of belly band type thing, so if I take that off gently, hopefully without breaking it. Actually what I'm going to do is slide these out, it's probably easier. Okay, so what we're looking at here are 2 replica tour programs. The 1987-1988 World Tour, of course. Quick flick through. All very standard tour programs. This is the 1989 World Tour. And then this is the 1994 World Tour. Well, actually, it's the European tour, say World Tour, it's European Tour. Sam Brown, of course, who did the backing vocals. So they're the 3 replica tour programs, and then this is a lyric book, so it does what it says on the tin, but has some quite nicely designed pages of lyrics for all the songs on the albums. So they're the 4 books. I'm not going to try and get these back in, but so they sit on top of the box set. They're the uppermost content, if you like. So one thing I should mention is these are obviously not square; they're rectangular shape, and they sit within this space here. So they don't move around. They've actually inserted these card spaces. And it's slightly bizarre because they're just loose, they just sit here loose. Feels a little bit of a weird design to me, because to access the content beneath it you have to take these out. There's a square book underneath. This book here is a big square hardback book, but you can't lift it out without taking these out. So given that this box set is over £300, this feels like someone's done something wrong with the design and they've had to do a bit of a bodge job at the end to fix it. So they didn't want these floating around, moving around, but presumably the only solution they could come up with that wouldn't have cost a fortune and meant scrapping thousands of box sets is putting in these spaces. You know, that is my reading of it. It could be completely inaccurate, but I think you'll agree it's a slightly bizarre situation. So let's take these out again and move the books out of the way that we've had a look at, and we've got a ribbon here to take out what is a hardcover book. This is a big square book, what they're calling a photo book. Nice black and white photography. Goes through related photos to do with each album. It's kind of as you would expect, really. Shots of the setting up the cover photos for the albums. Delicate Sound of Thunder. Some of the design work behind the division valve. And of course this covers the Endless River as well, shouldn't forget that. So here at the back we've got some Endless River behind the scenes. So there you go, there's not a lot of words in here, it's mainly photos. I suppose that's why it's called a photo book. Feels good quality. Right, next up is a kind of wallet, a pocket, a folio of memorabilia. So Pink Floyd have become synonymous with marbles from their immersion boxes of 2011 and 2012. And marbles have really come to signify stuff that you don't really need in a box set that they're still going to give you anyway. So it'll be interesting to have a look and see what's in here. First and foremost, we've got the two extra discs. So we've got Arnold Lane as performed in 2007 at the Barbican Centre. I mean, this was officially the last Pink Floyd performance before Richard Wright died, so obviously Roger Waters wasn't there, but it's still considered to be the last Pink Floyd performance. So this is quite a nice heavyweight sleeve, it's quite thick card. That's the single there, Pink Floyd Records. There is only one song on here, so as you can see the B-side is etched. And this single is Lost for Words from the rehearsals of the Pulse tour. And this is performed at Earl's Court. And I imagine this is going to be the same thing, which it is, another etched disc with the different design on it. So this is quite nice content. I mean, this isn't stuff, this is actually proper content. You could argue why they're putting vinyl in a CD, Blu-ray, DVD box, but there you go. And then the rest of the stuff here is just kind of what you'd expect, really, as advertised. So stickers, replica tickets, various passes and things. Pink Floyd 1989, another ticket replica, which has even got the little silvery bit there. And then a series of posters by the looks of it here. So, problem with these posters is, however good they are, if they're folded in a box, you feel like, well, they're kind of ruined already, because if you want to frame it, you've got big crease marks in it. So that is always the problem with posters. Unless they're going to supply them in a tube, which is logistically a nightmare, then you're always going to have that problem. There's another poster. Some stickers, another poster, two more posters, that's it. And the final one, this is the Venice job, 1989. So all this stuff, at least there's something to gather it all up in. It's not floating around loose, which is kind of what happened in the immersion box sets. So that's your little memorabilia wallet. Right, let's get to the meat and potatoes of this box set, and that is the discs themselves. What we have here, these are the CDs contained in this little book. This pile here are the Blu-rays, and this pile at the bottom are the DVDs. So we'll go through them. Let's start with the CDs. Quite a sort of unusual way to do it. This is a very tall book. It's a bit like the old style CD box sets you used to get. You could argue it might have been nicer to have it slightly shorter so you could put it on your CD shelf, but actually this is quite interesting. So on the back even though this is the CD book, if you like, it does actually spell out all the other optical discs. So it tells you what the 5 CDs are, which is A Momentary Lapse of Reason, remixed and updated, Delicate Sound of Thunder, remixed, part 1 and 2, and then various live recordings and unreleased studio recordings, disc 4, and Nebworth, disc 5. Now with the Blu-ray, it's similar, but you do get this extra disc of surround sound and high-res audio. Then you get Delicate Sound of Thunder, Pulse restored and re-edited, Venice, Nebworth, unreleased live films, documentaries, etc. Now everything in the Blu-ray except the surround sound disc has visuals as well, so it is the concert films, etc. And then DVD is a repeat of the Blu-ray, except you don't get disc 6, which is the surround sound, you just get all the other bits. So hopefully that's clear. But what this is the 5 CDs. So there's the first 3. So these credits here are the credits for everything, not just for the CDs. So it just goes through and tells you who does what, who plays on what, who sings on what, etc. So it goes through these are the 16 discs. It tells you who's mixed the surround sound. So the Division Bell was done in 2014 for the box set. So that was done by Andy Jackson. A Momentary Lapse of Reason was done by Andy Jackson as well. The unreleased material was done with Andy Jackson and Dave Gilmour, blah blah blah. But I mean, it's good to have all these credits. It makes it interesting, and it's quite nice that they're in this book form, I guess. But this book only contains the CDs themselves. If I open up this flap now, there's the last 2 CDs. So this book contains the 5 CDs and all the credits for everything. So that's what that is. Now when it comes to the actual Blu-rays and the DVDs, they're all in these gatefold wallets. They kind of fit in the gap, but not brilliantly, because the gatefold wallets have a tendency to just flap open. You know, it's reasonably well done, but I'm not sure it's perfect. So these are the Blu-rays. You know, they are nicely packaged because you know, they're glossy gatefold wallets. They just look very, very stylish. So I think they've done a really great job with these. Going through them one by one. So this is the high-res and surround sound audio mixes. So this is the only Blu-ray. This is disc 6. This is the only Blu-ray that doesn't have any visuals in it. It's got the studio album A Momentary Lapse of Reason, remixed and updated. It's got the Division Bell, and then it's got some unreleased material here. And it does tell you what everything is on the back. What's good about this is if you're going to play this stuff regularly, you just take it out of the box and leave it on your CD shelf, and it looks pretty good. And the other thing I think a lot of you will be pleased about is that the discs all come in these Japanese style paper bags. CDs don't come like that, but all the DVDs and all the Blu-rays do. So disc 7 is A Delicate Sound of Thunder, restored and remixed. It says here re-edited in 2019 from the original 35mm footage. So this is audio in 5.1 and high-res stereo and video as well. Again, it's got the little inner bag. Disc 8 is Pulse. Cover looks brilliant, I must admit. All the imagery and all the graphics here look amazing. Again, restored and re-edited. And this is video and audio, 5.1 and stereo. Actually, I said high-res stereo before. This one's 4824. The previous one was high-res. The previous one was 9624. So that's Pulse. Looks good. Disc 9 is 2 things. It's the Venice concert from 1989 and Nebworth from 1990. Same thing, video and audio. The Venice concert is only in stereo. It's not in 5.1. But the Nebworth concert is in 5.1 and stereo. Interesting to note here, it says a further donation has been made to Nordoff Robbins on behalf of Pink Floyd and all the musicians who performed with them at the 1990 Nebworth concerts. That's a nice touch. There's the disc. And this disc is called Unreleased Live Films, Music Videos and Concert Screen Films. So this is a kind of mixed bag of various bits. I did have a quick look at the High Hopes music video, which looks stunning. I mean, I haven't seen it in such good quality. It looked absolutely amazing. But they're all stereo. There's nothing, they haven't synced it to any 5.1. So you get the bonus music videos, some bonus live tracks from Delicate Sound of Thunder, some tour rehearsal stuff, including Lost for Words, the edit of which was on that 7-inch. The concert screen films from both 1987 and 1994, and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame from 1996. It's a right old mishmash, but you know, it's quite satisfying gathering all that stuff together. And then finally, this is disc 11 out of 16 optical discs. This is documentaries and unreleased material. Again, just various bits and bobs really. There's the Arnold Lane tribute from 2007. There's various album cover photography, TV ad, the Endless River film, and then various bits of documentary things. So it's a kind of odds and sods, but high quality odds and sods. So they are the 6 Blu-rays. If you've got a Blu-ray player, you know, a decent high quality setup, surround sound, etc., this is the core of what makes this box set appealing. 6 Blu-ray discs basically. Because, as we're going to see in a second, one of the controversial elements of the later years box is just how much content gets repeated from Blu-ray to DVD. So we'll have a look at that now. So these are the 5 DVDs. Disc 12 on the DVD side is basically a repeat of disc 7 on the Blu-ray side of things. It's the Delicate Sound of Thunder, restored and remixed, but as you can see, at least they've changed the artwork. They've tried to do something a bit different. And the inside is the same, but the cover wise is different. But the content is the same, other than you have the limitations of DVD versus Blu-ray. And what that means is the Blu-ray is 96:24. According to this, the stereo is 48:16. And on the 5.1 side of things, on the Blu-ray you get 5.1 DTS master audio 96:24, and on the DVD you get 5.1 DTS 48:16 or 5.1 Dolby Digital 48:16. So that is the difference. I do like the way they've made them a bit different. I think that's quite good. And what I've just said applies to all of them. So there's Pulse, different cover. There's Venice, different cover. There's the unreleased live films, music videos, different cover. Documentaries and unreleased material, different cover. Now all these are gatefold, just like the Blu-rays, and all of them come with discs that are protected with a rice paper inner sleeve. I'll just show you there. However, if you've got a Blu-ray player, you basically don't need these, so you're paying for a lot of content you don't actually need. So that is pretty controversial. They could have done one or two things. They could have done 2 different versions, a box set for Blu-ray and a box set for DVD, which probably would have been uneconomic. Or they could have done what the Beatles now do, and Apple and Universal, and just not bothered with DVD, just cut straight to the Blu-ray. If you want to pay 300 quid for a music box set, then fork out 50 or 60 quid for a Blu-ray player. That is probably what they should have done, and then they could have sold this box set for, you know, 150, 200 quid, not 300 plus. So the DVDs are discs 12 to 16 in this box set. As a reminder, the Blu-rays are discs 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and 11. So together, all this content takes you from disc 6 to disc 16. So as I say, the Blu-rays are supposed to sit in this box quite nicely, but they do have a tendency to pop up, and then the DVDs sit here. It's not perfect. You have to say that. The foam insert here is quite high quality. It's not cheap, it's not cardboard, but they've obviously put a lot of thought into this, but whether they've chosen the right options, made the right decisions, laid it out in the right way, is up for debate. Much like the immersion box sets, all the disc content is at the bottom of the box. So by the time you've put the hardback book, you've put the envelope with the memorabilia, you've put the tour programs, you've put those 3 bits of cardboard back at the top, the spacers, and then closed the box. You know, it's a lot of faffing around. But I suppose that is the nature of box sets. So just as a reminder, might as well do it. So Blu-rays there, DVDs there, CDs and credits there. On top is the wallet full of memorabilia and the 2 7-inch singles. Go there. On top of that goes the hardcover photo book, which goes there. Then you have to build your box again with these bits. So it goes like that. You've got the tour programs, the belly band thing, which I'm not even going to bother putting back, and then you shut the box, and there you have it. I mean, I'll be interested to see what people think about this. It's a massive heavy box for, at its essence, if you distill it all down, is 6 Blu-rays, and the DVDs and the CDs are arguably completely and utterly superfluous. Well, certainly the DVDs are superfluous. The CDs, you can argue you'll get some value out of those, but it's a massive old box set. You know, have they pumped it up content wise to create a price that they want to get to? It does look like it to a degree, but I mean, it's a stunning front cover, and it's really a mixed bag. It's hard to recommend completely a box set that is £330 or whatever. I mean, this was over 400 at the beginning. It's quite hard to recommend a box set that's that price for what is effectively 6 Blu-ray discs. I'm sure lots of Pink Floyd diehards are going to want it unquestionably, you know, which is fair enough. But you kind of think this should have been a £150 box set, £175 maximum, for £300 plus. It just feels too expensive. I mean, I think that's the long and the short of it. That's all you can really say. So for now, I'm going to say thank you very much. Thanks for watching. This has been Paul Sinclair taking a first look at Pink Floyd's The Later Years box set.